Do men really prefer not to pursue romantic interests as much these days? Basically, a dichotomy is forming. If we're being real, there has never been a better time to be an attractive man, and these guys are having the time of their lives. On the other end, the guys who have to try a bit harder are finding their efforts yielding less and less results, leading them to give up entirely. Depending on who you talk to, this is either the best or the worst dating market in recent history. We have been conditioned that we are creeps if we approach, even respectfully. Basically, we are welcome if you find us attractive, but creeps if you don't. Thing is, how are we supposed to know ahead of time? I always feel weird because of him trying to talk to a woman in public. It's because I find her physically attractive. I mean, that is the first thing we notice about someone, right? But women don't want someone who is just into them for their looks, so I just feel like a creep in the end. Also, they've always got a boyfriend anyways, so what's the point? It's mostly, I would say, the idea of coming on too strong or being available, which can make the other person question things. Everyone is all on guard because of their own dating experience and don't want to come off as vulnerable to protect themselves. It's just how it is today because of the culture, preferences, internet, and etc. Yeah, this is a legitimate fear for most men. Some men don't care, and those are the guys who are always approaching women. But for most men, it was intimidating enough to begin with. But now we're inundated with all this contradicting information about how, when, and where it's okay to approach women. And we have tons of bad experiences, or hear bad experiences where women arbitrarily destroy our reputation with false labels and accusations. So most of us just don't try because it's not worth it. 33M here. I think most men, and feedback from my guy friends, I think we are just jaded, and would prefer to put our energy and money to hanging out with friends, work, and hobbies that give us a guaranteed return on joy. I think more men now would rather be single than be labeled something fair, not a creep. Also, with social media, the last thing a guy wants is for a woman to misjudge his interest for being creepy, record him after asking her out, walking away after being rejected while talking about her interaction with him, and post it on the internet forever. It's a mark the guy has to live with forever and can take a toll on his mental health. All it takes is one person to say you've gone viral and his life could be over, all just because he took a leap and asked a woman out. I know some people will think that's extreme in terms of scenario, but it happens. It's easy to pull your phone out, record someone, and say you're creeping me out when the guy isn't, post it, and go viral. I'm a guy and I don't like making the first move, but that's mainly because I'm sick of always being expected to be the one to make the first move. We don't know how to mainly. Women have a lot of unspoken expectations and standards. Unspoken ones, and no, I don't mean shower and clean your apartment, I mean stuff that's subtle or petty that people don't ordinarily tell men. The ball is in women's court now. We got time. Same old story. This has been discussed way too much on this sub. I don't know if other men can relate, but to me, it's not worth the effort anymore. Most women refuse to put any effort into a relationship. They don't chase, they don't pursue, they expect the man to do it all. I've come to the conclusion that most women are not worth the effort, marriage ain't what it used to be, and the courts incentives women to leave men, and men are destroyed in family courts, even if the woman cheated or just got bored. It's just a bad situation. Lol, agree, people are so used to communicating online that IRL communication between strangers is becoming rare. Although, I have 100 with the hey let's grab dinner line. Women are less likely to say no if you feed them. Do you have any idea how thankful I would be for a girl to be interested in me? All the girls in my life only date guys based off their social standing, no matter how much of a piece of trash the guy is. And it's sad, because behind all those smiles you can tell they are miserable. Tell them to go for it. Because you only live once, and if not, then you now know another bit you can improve on. Kinda true. That's why more and more women should initiate. I'm not worried about being called a creep. I just think, why bother when women have so many options in their online dating apps to hit up when they are bored? It's near impossible to stand out amongst the crowd. And even if you do get a date, there's a good chance she'll just move on to sample other guys even if she liked you. Personally, I'm not scared of coming off as creepy or weird. That's not really a thing in practice if you're minimally socially aware. I'm a bit reluctant because women seem to have very high standards these days. If the vibe is mutual, I'll just take her aside and tell her that I really like her. Or if it's sooner in the interaction, and there's some nice butterfly tension when we interact, then I simply ask if she'd like to meet me someday, like for coffee or a glass of wine or whatever. It's honestly just not worth it anymore. Socially approaching women has mostly become unacceptable unless you're attractive, and dating apps are a joke.